Hello, tribe. All right, Fanta Koulibaly here, coming in for another video. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to achieve that flawless, clean, beautiful grid, right? Some would say I'm a queen of a grid, and I would agree. I mean, you know, check me out, check me out. All right, in all serious note, so I want to talk to you guys today about like how to achieve flawless, clean, beautiful grid. It is something that all of us as a loctician, something that we take pride in. We all know that Microloc services within the natural hair community is the upper echelon of all of the natural hair services. Just how precise and how unique and tedious like the process. I mean, the process is very intricate is the word I'm looking for, right? It's very intricate. It's beautiful, right? And the journey is more than just a hairstyle, right? So it's like a lifestyle, we call it, right? So it is something that a client is having to mentally prepare for, financially prepare for, and those two things is a big deal. And even you as a microloctician, we all know, when I don't know about you, but I know for me still to this day, when I have installation, I have to mentally prepare myself. Like, it is something that's in the forefront of my head. Like, it is something I just have to prepare for. It's like I'm going into I don't want to say it's like I'm preparing for an exam. I don't want to say a war, but like, something good. Like, I want to do my best, right? So, and it's pricey, right? And I guess it's pricey. It makes sense for it to be pricey because the amount of work that goes into it is insane, right? I remember years ago, very quick short story. Years ago, back when I was in cosmetology school, when I discovered micro interlock, and I found someone to do it for me, and this was like back in 2008, and the lady quoted me $500, and I thought that was like expensive. Like, I'm like, damn, like I never paid that much for hair in my life ever before. I mean, time have changed, right? Time have changed, boy. How time have changed. But anyway, I thought that was expensive. And I had to, my hair was too short. She wanted me to come back, and there was a step to this thing, right? It wasn't just me just coming in on a Friday, call her, and I can just come and get my hair done. It was process to this thing. The hair needed to be a certain state. I needed to save my money. I had to mentally prepare. And this lady, she was Jamaican. She was just so sweet at the time, and she was very spiritual, into spirituality. She sat me down, like literally before she started my hair. She's like, listen, this is not just like a quick bam thing. Like, we are going to be connected. Like, you need to make sure that you are taking this thing seriously. Because I was young. She was probably like, maybe 15 years older than me. She's like, you need to take this thing seriously. This is a lifestyle. So I'm not gonna do your hair for you to just get up and go and think like something light. Like, this is a serious thing. So with all that being said, the journey is a serious thing. We're not playing in nobody's head, and we know time have changed, right? Average installs are around about $1,500, right, to about $2,500, to even $3,000 or more. So with that being said, I feel like when you are tackling someone's installation, like, that is the first day. We all know getting anything done to your hair on that first day, like, it had to be the best of any of the day that they're going to have that hair style. So installation is a big deal, and it's also almost like building a house, right? It's like building that foundation. So when you're starting on something that is like semi-permanent, you want to make sure you put your best foot forward. You don't want to make as much mistake, right? You want to make as less mistake as much as possible, and whatever you put on that head in terms of the size, the precision parting, that's what's going to be there for years to come, unless they remove our locks and do it the whole process all over again. With that being said, here are a few things that you can do to make sure that your clients have the best flawless clean grid the same day, okay, that install. And also things to avoid when you are trying to create a grid, okay. All right, so let's get right into it. So first of all, what is a grid? Grid is a network of a vertical and horizontal line that are meeting, right? Creating, this square base, okay? So when we do our main sectioning, the main sectioning is not the grid. Main sectioning is the main sectioning. We got 2 section here, maybe like, 3 or 4, whatever section, right? So you got sectioning. You section off the head for ease and manageability to tackle the head, and then each of those sections has to be put into a grid, okay. And now, because there have been section off, the amount of hair that you have in that section is all of the hair you have to work with to create the grid that you have. So you have to be mindful. So number 1, sizing. You really need to understand sizing. Okay, we won't go into that. That will be a separate video because there's a lot that goes into sizing. So you need to really understand sizing. And for a quick note reference, everybody use a different tool, but if you work with the hook tool, the tip of it, this is how I train, my students and my mentees, the tip of the hook tool. Typically the interlock tool, or the the IFB, I'm not sure what the abbreviation of the tool is. We'll put it here somewhere, but those two, the black tool, those two are typically have the same length at the tip, so you will use that as a reference. Again, there's so much that goes into that, we won't cover that here, but as a reference, you want to make sure that when you're creating a grid, you are being mindful of your sizing. You cannot be creating like bunch of random sizes in someone's head. Like, the sizing has to flow. You're not a machine. You are not going to create like a cookie size a grid on someone's head, right? So sizing are going to range, right? It's going to be in variation, right? But they should still look the same. They should still look like they belong together, like they're same lock family, right? Because if the locks are not the same size, let's say you open up someone's head, like in the middle, like you see one lock that's right next to another lock that is like almost 3 or 4 times the size difference. Like, that's not gonna give you that flawless, beautiful, uniform look that most people want, okay? And then also you want to keep in mind your parting, right? So your precision parting is a huge deal. I mean, I feel like that and your sizing like go neck to neck almost, right? So when it comes to precision parting, it's really about the little things. It's not even like the biggest thing, right? So in our training, when we're teaching our students, we take them through the process of achieving precision parting, and I explain to them is literally about the little thing, about how to softly move, like when you part off, how to softly move the hair. Like, the pathway has to be clear. That's what gives you that clean part. So when you part off a hair, there's every single strand should either belong to the left side or the right side. If you have a little bit of strands laying right there on the pathway, like, your parts won't look as clean. So it's really about training the hair, combing it and brushing it and smoothing it down. So like using the smoothing effect, using your hands, or tilting the comb, right, to brush the hair away. So that is really, really important. And then also being mindful to check your parts in the mirror. And then what else that you have to keep in mind? And I guess I'll throw this in. Your work may not look best on every head. So like, you can do all of this that I'm saying, like, your head may not look good on every head. Few challenges that you're going to come across on the different type of clients that will that will challenge your grid skill. I'll put it that way, right? Clients with like shifty, soft, moving scalp, like those type of clients, you have to be mindful. The key to those type of client and handling those clients is tension. Minimal tension. Minimal tension equal gives you like that even tension. So because if you apply like a lot of tension, the it'll be off a little bit. Your parts will be off, your lock sizing will be off as well. And then even showing it off won't look as beautiful as well, because their scalp may be rolling or it's soft and things like that. And also people with gray hair, there's not enough contrast between their scalp and the hair itself. The hair is very frizzy on top of that, so it's the frizz plus the lack of contrast with the gray hair against the scalp. So your grid is going to be challenged. It's going to be really challenging. So again, patient, okay. And then what else? I think those I would say the top two main things that may challenge your grid. You could do your best, but it just may not come across well on those type of clients, okay? But again, you have to be mindful with your parting, being patient, make sure your parts are clean, double check your parts. And also sizing is like the huge thing, right? And now, let's go into what not to do, right? Hold on, let me look on my phone. This is, so what to avoid, right? So what you want to avoid when making a grid. This is a mistake I see so much on Instagram, on social media, all over. When I see a loctician, like granted, they have like beautiful skill, because a lot of these braiders, you could tell that someone was a braider, because when they come over to the microloc space, that their partings is immaculate, and I love it. However, they are not formally trained and don't have enough experience in this space, and they make these, I call it rookie mistake. It's like they have the skill to do good hair, but don't have the skill to do good microloc install. So installing client's head, vertically is like a no-no. And I know at one point that was like a thing I heard that a lot of people were doing. It's like what we're trying to do when we're doing hairdressing in general, you don't want to make the client's head look like they're balding. Like, we want to see less scalp. So, and that's something that we learn in cosmetology school. Like, when you're trying to create big, beautiful, luscious head of hair, you want to minimize the exposure of scalp. And you may know this, I think everybody knows this, like the number one fear of any clients trying to get microloc is like, am I gonna look like, what is it, scally, waggy or something? Like, they don't want to see too much scalp. People are afraid, like, is it gonna look thin? I don't want to see scalp and things like that. So what you don't want to do is to contribute to that, right? You don't want to do anything that's going to unnecessarily expose their scalp. So when you're placing your grid vertically, you are drawing the eye. All of the locks is going to fall right on top of each other vertically, and then you can see that big gap right in between the locks. So that's a big no-no, right? So in our training, we go over hair growth, hair growth, how hair just kind of grow, the direction. There we go. The direction of hair growth matters, right? So you need to be mindful the direction of hair growth. So if a hair typically grow in almost like in a circular kind of like vertical, depending on where on top of the head is, you want to do the opposite. So thinking like if something just kind of like it's like this naturally up and down, you need to go across, right? So that's how you create that filled in. When you think about it, if you have verticals, right, when you do horizontal, like what's gonna happen is gonna look filled in, it's gonna look like a grid. So never install someone's head vertically. Please do not do that. Just do horizontal, okay? That is the best way to avoid that. It will just flow naturally. Number two, the mistake that people make is literally copying and pasting each row one after the other. Do not do that. Every single row that you part off, you need to use the knowledge that you will learn at our academy, right? That you will learn to properly size each lock. So what this will do is that it is going to naturally just create this natural fall where you are not creating this like, you know, robotic what do you call it, bricklayer. We're not creating this like, you know, robotic bricklayer, okay? And trying to go out of your way to do bricklayer, because again, when you do bricklayer, like the sizing just won't be right at some point. So instead of doing that, and also instead of like copying and pasting, you are going to use your sizing knowledge technique to size off that row. Okay, there's a lot that goes into that. Please keep that in mind. Okay, so you need to size off each row as it is. Like, this is the amount of hair you have. Now size it in a way where it makes sense with the rest of the sizing that you have been creating on the head. That is really, really important. So what this is going to do is, like, you know, you may have like, you know, 1 or 2 lock right here that falls right on top of each other, and then the next 2 lock will be slightly off. So it's like slightly off but not completely off, but then this is like right. So that imperfectness, the chapter in our book, I call it that imperfect perfect grid. So that's what it is, right? It's like kind of off, but to the naked eye it looked like things are actually lining up, but we don't want it to line up, because when you think about it, it's like when things are like perfectly lined up, your eyes just kind of draws into that direction. So you don't want to do that. So you want to, you know, naturally just part off each row and size each lock naturally, and then work with that. So the imperfectness of all of that will give you this beautiful filled in space, especially in the back of the head. And this is really, really important, okay? So I guess, you know, that'll wrap it up. So 2 things: do not install vertically. Please don't do it. Don't do it. And also, do not intentionally like copy and paste one row after the other. That's literally going to give you the same effect as if you did the install like vertically up and down. Like, do not do that, okay? So take this into consideration. And also clips. Let me not forget. So clips, I don't want you to overdo it. Every single locks that you size off does not need to have clips. But however, you do want to use as many clips as possible, as many clamp as possible. And also, it's almost like cooking, right? You know, if you're one of those, you know, chefs that like to clean as you go, same concept. Clean as you go. This is my secret. Clean as you go. You have to re-ponytail, right? Let's say you have all of the sections, right? Make sure like the head is not messy. The hair is going to eventually like get frizzy, and the ponytail is going to get loose and all up in your way, get into the parts that you work so hard to create. You want to clean as you go, right? Use the clip, you know, smooth down that little frizz and clip it down out of your way. And when you're ready to work on that one lock, make sure like if you're heavy-handed, or you know, you haven't found your way yet, make sure you have enough clips to clip everything away from that one lock, right? And then, you know, every now and then re-ponytail everything, re-smooth and regather each section. Make sure like you are working on a clean work site on the head. I am telling you, this is going to take you a long way. So keep that in mind. These are great tips. These are the things that I still do. These are my secret sauce. I'm telling you, this is my secret sauce. My students will tell you. So if you want that flawless install, these are what you must do, and things that you must avoid doing, okay? All right. So tribe, I think I have given you my secret sauce, and I hope you will take this into consideration. And if you try any of these, please let me know. And any of my students out there who have done these methods, vouch for me. Let them know in the comments, okay? And if you are a loctician and you've been in the game for a minute and you have your ways Maybe you are doing some things that I am not aware, right? You know, we all have our ways. Drop down in the comment what is, what do you do that, kind of adds on to the flawless, beautiful finished look, the grid the most people want, right? So let us know in the comment. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, and help us grow here. Don't you want to don't you want me to be yapping about microlocs all day? And also, if you have not following us, follow us on Instagram. Follow us everywhere. Okay, we got like 3 pages. We got Tiny Locks Kids page, right? So follow us there. We're trying to support our little ones too. We got Tiny Locks Official, our main community page. We also have Tiny Locks Academy. Follow us there if you want information on training that we have throughout the year. And if you're a loctician looking for clients, okay, and you want to fill up your books, okay, we have created our useful, very, very useful app for the community. Never have been done before. It's a directory, and it is also what do you call it, like a listing, like a scheduling. Eventually you'll be able to actually use it as like a booking site as well. We have so many features coming up, so everywhere in the app store, type in Tiny Locks directory. If you're a loctician, you can list your business on there. You can upload pictures on there just like Instagram. You can put your pricing information, your location, just like your profile, a business profile on there. And if you are looking for micro locticians that specializes in microloc, because people are out there, doing this stuff in like the braid shop. If someone, you want to see their work and this is something that they specialize in, check them out on there. And we have our graduates on there who have the badge. Look for the badge under their profile that tells you that they have been graduated with us, that they have gotten the information from our training. Okay, so download the app, follow us everywhere on social media. Please don't forget to tell me what you think about what I just mentioned. Have you been doing some of these things, and which one of these are you most excited about trying? All right, so I will see you guys later, tribe. Bye till next time.